This video is a request. Someone asked me to. I consulted with her, and then she wanted me. She said this should be my next YouTube video. So I said, why the heck not? So here I am doing this video. So what I want to give it to you today is my keys for weight loss. If you don't know my backstory, it goes a little bit like this. I've always been an athletic, in shape, fit person for most of my life. I played organized football from the time I was maybe 9-10 years old up until I was like 26 years old in college. After I played a couple years in college and decided I wanted to be a student full time. Then I stopped playing, and then I put on a lot of weight once I stopped playing. So by the time I gotten out of there for graduation, I was probably 35 pounds heavier. Came home, and then within another 6 months, I packed on like another 35, 40 pounds. So in total, I was up around 70 pounds heavier. With that came, I was going through a lot at the time. So I know it isn't just one thing that contributed to why I was that way. But, you know, I had some depressive bouts in college and just had to, just dealt with it the wrong way. So once I came home, I started to lift weights. So I wasn't like this really, super flabby dude who was just completely out of shape. I actually packed on a lot of mass. I started lifting weights more than I ever did when I was in college, and I gained a lot of mass. So I got big. I gained muscle, no question about it. But I wasn't losing my fat layer at all. So again, 70 pounds up in weight. So at a certain point, I started to have these symptoms. Sent me to the emergency room straight from work. Was told I was in a pre-diabetic state. I had a high A1C reading, and my blood sugars, of course, were high at that time. So this is going to lead right into my tips, or I won't say tips. I'll say this is going to lead into my list of things that helped me to lose that 70 pounds. And so the first thing is that when he said diabetes, that pretty much gave rise to what I will call having a healthy fear. I absolutely had a healthy fear of diabetes. It was without question. I don't think at that time I knew anybody who had it, but upon being told I was being close to having it, I just went into research mode, and I looked a lot of things up, had a class, and learned. And when you tell me that my kidneys may be affected, my eyesight, loss of limbs possibly, and things like that, it just kind of simplified things to me. And that was my catalyst, my jump off, so to speak, that got me on the road to losing that weight that I was carrying around. So number one, and I'm gonna say these factors for me are probably in as good an order of importance as I would think that I could make them. So having a healthy fear. Number two, I needed to go extreme. So I came home that same day, and after ponderance at the hospital, ponderance on the way home, then pondering a little bit more once I got home, and I just kind of went into my refrigerator, I went into my cupboards and cabinets, and I got all the stuff out that I knew that I shouldn't be eating. I gave some of it away, but some of it I just tossed. Didn't care about the money. It was the bigger picture here for me was my health. And so I got rid of all those things. It may seem drastic, but I always tell people when I tell them some of the places I shop, like Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, grocery stores around here, one of them is called Heinen's, and I would say Heinen's prices probably are a little bit more expensive than some of the other supermarkets we have around here. But I tell people, if there's one thing to go broke for, it is your health. in my opinion, there's nothing more important. So I don't have any problem paying a premium for premium fuel. So that's what I did. So I went extreme, number 2. And number 3, one of the biggest things I think that America has huge issue with, and a lot of us don't really realize it because this is easier than eating as far as consumption, is the amount of calories we get from liquid. At the time, I don't think I drank much pop at all, but I was off dairy, but I was a big juice guy. Juice was my thing, and I cut that out too. No more pop, no more juice, no more milk or anything like that. I stopped obtaining calories from liquids. And it made sense. Once all this dawned on me, some certain things just started to make more sense to me. When you think about human beings in the wilderness, there's very little in terms of liquid that we would be consuming. We would be drinking water. So I got to the point where I was just drinking water for a long time. I know that sounds boring, but I don't know. I'd rather be a slimmer dull guy than a flashy big guy. So that's my logic there. But later on, I mean, there was a period where I did try to do some diet drinks, but I couldn't get with the phenol alcohol things that they have in them. So again, number 3, no liquid calories, and I did that, and I still pretty much do that to this day. My number 4 weight loss tip is that I cut out the refined whites, the big 3: sugar, potatoes, rice. I don't really eat rice at all. Occasionally I'll have potatoes in some form. Mostly if I have potatoes, it's in the form of sweet potatoes. Those are the only potatoes that I'll eat maybe every couple months. Other than that, white potatoes I just don't do anymore, and rice is just out. These products are refined, and this means that they're altered. But what happens in the alteration is that they're extracting the nutrients, the good things that we could get. Actually, the few good things that we could get from these things, they pretty much extract that to give it a higher shelf life. So, and this process is called enrichment, which isn't very enriching. Imagine that. So, number 5. And a lot of you might be thinking, wow, where's this on the list? Is this on the list? But it is. It's working out. And for me, it isn't just working out, because I did work out at the time, but I changed how I worked out. So what I wound up doing was I stopped lifting the way that I was. At that time, I was lifting heavier than I ever had in my life. I was benching over 300 pounds. I got really big. That wasn't optimal for me. At 5'8", I didn't need to weigh 270 pounds. So what I did was I kicked up the more dynamic exercising routine. So I did a lot more things that were associated with moving across planes, which means from a standing position to being on the floor, or getting from the floor to getting up, or moving side to side and things like that. So it was a lot more movement resistance. I still lifted weights. I did not lift as heavy anymore. This changed my thought process about working out and what a gym really was. And that's kind of when I know there are some people that use this, but I do believe the gym is inside you. You're a walking gym. You really don't need these elaborate things to lose weight or to really be doing something. And that's how I did it. I didn't go to a gym, and I became a personal trainer through all this too. And this is how I've maintained it. And it's been a while. It's been over 10 years, and I've kept the weight off. I'll tell you absolutely, I'm at least 10 years older, so the distribution and composition of my body is different. I mean, I don't have as much muscle mass. I'm smaller than I used to be, because I don't work out that old way. But again, I'm not really trying to be Mr. Buff or anything like that anymore. So, but those are my tips. So ultimately, what I want to call that, it isn't all it is. It's very, very easy, because all it is changing your life. Now I'm saying it's easy to tell you what it is and to tell you what the secret is. It's not really a secret at all. You just change your life, because I see too many people struggle with their hand to mouth complexes. People are so caught up in it, whether it's this or whether it's this. People are they're really locked into their routines and they don't really realize it. I'll be the first to say that when I started to lose weight, it was very swift. It was within 2 weeks I started to notice a difference in my clothes. It was the weight just melted away, so to speak. But again, I made a lifestyle change. I didn't ease into it. I didn't put it off. It was my life, and it's like, why would I wait till next? What's better about Monday than Wednesday to start? Nothing. So for me, this is my life, and I don't have any children, so it was the most important thing for me. So I did it. I went after it and I did it. And again, it's probably my biggest triumph that I've accomplished, and it is a daily struggle. It's something that I must continually work on, and that kind of harkens back to having a healthy fear. With fear, you don't ever want to get used to it, because the thing is, once you no longer fear something, you can become complacent in it. You can become stagnant again. So it's good to have that fear. And I still fear diabetes or any other ailment, or just ultimately having tubes in me, having an IV on me, or being in a hospital bed. These are things that I have a healthy fear of. I don't wish to spend my days or hours laid up, or being worked on by medical professionals. And I implore any of you to listen to my words and take from it what you can to help you. If anybody wants to tap my brain or anything, I'm a wealth of resources and knowledge. So hit me up on any mode possible. You can text me. For those that have my number, you can email me. My email address is in my channel information. You can holler at me on the comment section, which I really want more people to do. And above else, I'm going to keep doing videos like this. So subscribe to the channel so you can get notified when these videos come out. So again, this is how I lost weight, and I hope you can do the same for yourself. Keep me posted, and I'll keep you posted on any new things that may come across my table. Thank you for listening to me, and be well.